His throne is a cloth, soaked in his own filth, swarming with vipers. His crown, the very bag of silver he prized, now a vessel of molten fire poured endlessly over his head. His eyes, which saw the Messiah, are now gouged out by serpents. His ears, which heard the words of life, are filled with the hissing of demons. This isn't just a punishment, it's a perfect, eternal echo of a single, catastrophic choice. And it was all witnessed by a 14th century mother of 8, a saint whose visions of hell were so vivid, so terrifying, they were studied by popes for centuries. This is what Saint Bridget of Sweden saw when God showed her the fate of Judas Iscariot. Before we step into that darkness, you need to understand who the messenger was. Bridget of Sweden wasn't some fringe ascetic living in a cave. She was a noble woman, a wife, a mother to 8 children, deeply connected to the political and religious heart of Europe. After her husband's death, she dedicated her life to God, founding a new religious order and becoming one of the most influential women of her time. Her revelations, dictated over 30 years, weren't just random nightmares. They were considered divine messages, warnings, and theological lessons for humanity, meticulously examined and eventually approved by the Church. So when she spoke of hell, people listened, because they believed she wasn't just imagining it. She was reporting back from the abyss. If you appreciate stories that bridge history and mystery, consider subscribing. We explore these profound narratives every week. Bridget's vision of Judas is terrifyingly specific. It's a systematic dismantling of the human person, a torment tailored to his crimes. His pride is attacked by demons who mock him, crowning him with filth. His greed is punished by the 30 pieces of silver, now a source of unending agony, burning him from the inside out. The vision describes a craftsman, his tools turned against him. Judas's hands, which took the blood money, are gnawed by worms. His neck, which he hung by a rope, is constricted by serpents of ice and fire. His back is broken, forever bent in a posture of shame. Every part of his body that participated in the betrayal is now the source of a unique and eternal pain. It's a horrifying picture of justice without mercy, where the punishment isn't just for the crime, but is the crime itself, replayed for eternity. But here is the most crucial part of the vision, the detail that changes everything. The betrayal, as horrific as it was not the sin that damned Judas. The vision makes it clear. His true fall, his point of no return, was something else entirely. It was despair. It was the absolute conviction that his sin was too great for God's forgiveness. He looked at his own failure, at the 30 pieces of silver in his hand, and saw an abyss he believed even divine love could not cross. He judged himself before God could. He became his own warden, his own executioner. While the betrayal opened the door to damnation, it was his despair that slammed it shut and locked it from the inside. He refused to even ask for the mercy that was waiting for him. To understand the gravity of this, we have to look at another man who stood by the fire that same night, Simon Peter. Peter's betrayal was, in some ways, even more personal. 3 times he was asked, and 3 times he denied even knowing Jesus. He swore an oath, lying to save his own skin, while his friend was being condemned. The sin was immense. And when the rooster crowed, and he met Jesus' eyes, the weight of it crushed him. He ran out and wept bitterly. But what did he do next? That is the difference between heaven and hell. Judas ran to the temple, threw the money back, and, consumed by his despair, took his own life. Peter, in his grief, ran back to the other disciples. He ran back to the community. He despaired in his own strength, but he did not despair of God's mercy. He wept, he repented, and he allowed himself to be forgiven. Both men fell, both betrayed. One believed his sin was the end of the story. The other allowed it to be the beginning of his redemption. Saint Bridget's vision goes even deeper, assigning 7 specific devils to torment Judas, each one representing a vice that led to his downfall. The first is greed, which blinded him to everything but the silver. The second is pride, making him believe he knew better than his master. The third is envy, festering jealousy towards the other disciples and the love they received. The fourth is treachery itself, the demon that orchestrates the act. The fifth is a devil, representing his worldly desires, his impatience for a political kingdom that never came. The sixth is the devil of deceit, which allowed him to smile and share bread while plotting betrayal. And the final, most powerful devil is the one of despair. This demon is the one who convinced him that the gates of mercy were closed forever, that his only escape was self-destruction. This is a psychological portrait of a soul's collapse, a roadmap showing how a series of small compromises and unchecked vices can lead to total spiritual ruin. In the vision, Christ himself speaks to Bridget about Judas. The tone isn't one of vengeful satisfaction, but of profound sorrow. He explains that Judas was given every chance, every grace, every opportunity to repent, right up to the very last moment. He says, "I would have gladly suffered for him as I did for Peter, if he had but sought my mercy." This is a staggering statement. It reframes the entire narrative. God's mercy wasn't withdrawn from Judas. Judas withdrew from God's mercy. Hell, in this context, is not a place God sends people he's angry with. It's the state of being for those who definitively and finally reject his love. It is the ultimate quarantine of the soul, a self-imposed exile from the presence of goodness, truth, and beauty. This 700-year-old vision isn't just a piece of historical theology, it's a mirror. How many of us have felt the sting of a mistake so profound we thought we could never be forgiven? How many of us carry a secret shame? A regret that whispers to us in the dark that we are unworthy, that we've gone too far. This is the voice of despair. It's the temptation to believe that our identity is defined by our worst moment. The story of Judas is a cautionary tale that the most dangerous place a person can be is not in a state of sin, but in a state of believing that sin has the final word. It's the lie that says, "You are your failure." The vision's true horror isn't the snakes or the fire. It's the chilling possibility of choosing to believe that lie over the possibility of grace. So, what St. Bridget saw wasn't just Judas in hell. She saw the mechanism of self-damnation. She saw a soul who was offered an infinite ocean of mercy and chose to die of thirst next to it because he was too ashamed to drink. The difference between the saint and the sinner who is lost is not that one never falls. The difference is that the saint gets back up. They look at their failure, they feel the crushing weight of it, and they make a choice. They choose to believe that forgiveness is more real than their mistake. Peter chose it. Judas did not. The vision is a terrifying reminder of the consequences of our choices, but it is also a powerful, implicit invitation. The door to mercy is never locked from the outside. The question is, will we have the hope, the humility to approach it? What part of this story, the punishment, the comparison to Peter, or the sin of despair, resonates most with you? Let me know in the comments below.